And let's finish the 29th chapter of A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. It's called The Smallpox Hut, and that's where the king and the boss are. Um, Only the woman of the house is still able to speak. Her husband has died. She has one daughter that's dead already and another one that's on her way out. And she notices a look on the king's face and says to him, "Ah, I know that sign. Thou'st a wife at home, poor soul, and you and she have gone hungry to bed many's the time, and that and the little ones might have your crust, that the little ones might have your crust, and know what poverty is, and the daily insults of your betters, and the heavy hand of the church and the king." The king winced under this accidental home shot, but kept still. He was learning his part, and was playing it well, too. For a pretty dull beginner, I struck up a diversion. I offered the woman food and liquor, but she refused both. She would allow nothing to come between her and the release of death. Then I slipped away and brought the dead child from aloft, and laid it by her. This broke her down again, and there was another scene that was full of heartbreak. By and by I made another diversion, and beguiled her to sketch her story. Ye know it well yourselves, having suffered it, for truly none of our condition in Britain escape it. It is the old weary tale. We fought and struggled and succeeded, meaning by success that we lived and did not die. More than that is not to be claimed. No troubles came that we could not outlive, till this year brought them. Then came they all at once, as one might say, and overwhelmed us. Years ago the lord of the manor planted certain fruit trees on our farm, in the best part of it too, a grievous wrong and shame. But it was his right, interrupted the king. None denieth that. Indeed, and the law mean anything. What is the Lord's is his, and what is mine is his also. Our farm was ours by lease, therefore it was likewise his to do with as he would. Some little time ago, 3 of the trees were found hewn down. Our 3 grown sons ran frightened to report the crime. Well, in his lordship's dungeon, there they lie. Who saith there shall they live and rot till they confess? They have not to confess, being innocent, wherefore they will remain until they die. Ye know that right well, I ween. Think how this left us, a man, a woman, and 2 children, to gather a crop that was planted by so much greater force, and to protect it night and day from pigeons and prowling animals that be sacred and must not be hurt by any of our sort. When my lord's crop was nearly ready for the harvest, so also was ours. When his bell rang to call us to his fields to harvest his crop for nothing, he would not allow that I and my 2 girls should count for our 3 captive sons, but for only 2 of them. So for the lacking one we were daily fined. So for the lacking one were we daily fined. All this time our own crop was perishing through neglect, and so both the priest and his lordship fined us because their shares of it were suffering through damage. In the end, the fines ate up our crop, and they took it all. They took it all and made us harvest it for them, without pay or food, and we starving. Then the worst came when I, being out of my mind with hunger, and the loss of my boys, and grief to see my husband and my little maids in rags and misery and despair, uttered a deep blasphemy, 1,000 of them, against the church and the church's ways. It was 10 days ago I had fallen sick with this disease, and it was to the priest I said the words, for he was come to chide me for lack of due humility under the chastening hand of God. He carried my trespass to his betters. I was stubborn. Wherefore presently upon my head and upon all heads that were dear to me fell the curse of Rome. Since that day we are avoided, shunned with horror. None has come near this hut to know whether we live or not. The rest of us were taken down. Then I roused me and got up, as wife and mother will. It was little they could have eaten in any case. It was less than little they had to eat. But there was water, and I gave them that. How they craved it, and how they blessed it. But the end came yesterday. My strength broke down. Yesterday was the last time I ever saw my husband, and this youngest child alive. I have lain here all these hours, these ages, ye may say, listening for any sound up there that... She gave a sharp, quick glance at her eldest daughter, then cried out, Oh, my darling! And feebly gathered the stiffening form to her sheltering arms. She had recognized the death rattle. And that is the end of chapter 29.